Nigerians this year. I told you Nigerians will cry for 4 years under Tinubu. I am talking about serious cry. God help us. My goodness. And lots of exclamation signs there for you all coming your way from the news that is making the rounds this morning. And then Mediterranean wildfires killed more than 40 people. Wildfires have claimed most lives in Algeria, but blazes are also widespread in Greece and Italy. Yesterday, we talking about the fact that 2 pilots died in a Greek firefighting plane crash there as well. Russia shogu a rare North Korea visit. Now, Russian and Chinese delegation are the first to visit after the country shut borders due to the pandemic. And then Cambodia Prime Minister relinquishes rule after 4 decades. The hardline leader has ruled the Asian nation for 38 years. And his party has total political control. So he knows that his back is going to be protected. Speculation rife after China foreign minister removed Ping Kang's prolonged absence from the public view, and the silence over it is fueling furious speculation. What exactly has been going on there? Do they see him as one who actually was conniving, condoning and all stuff with the West, or maybe trying to sing to their tune or compromising too much? What is going on there? Australia, lucky to be colonized. Interesting. The former Prime Minister is saying. John Howard's remark come ahead of a historic referendum on indigenous recognition. Really? Actually, driving the people into the forest and doing all sorts. And he said, oh, they were lucky that that evil was perpetrated to them. Interesting. We'll be talking more about that in a moment. But at times, you say some people are old, and at times, you just have to just let them be. Well, Farage calls for a whole nation NatWest board to resign over Court's leak. The bank boss, Dame Alison Rose, stepped down after admitting to being the source of an inaccurate story about the ex-UKIP leader. And he's saying because of that, they need to all go. We know that the boss has resigned, but we don't know if the board itself will also resign. Gina Deltas to strike for 4 days in August. A man fight to clear name 20 years after rape conviction. A Spurs owner has been charged over alleged insider trading. Now, British billionaire Joe Lewis is indicted in the US over an alleged insider trading scheme. Well. So coming away from Star Radio UK. There's a lot more going to be coming your way. So wherever you are, don't you touch the dial. It's going to be a wonderful time, wouldn't it? Okay. Enjoy this music, and I'll be with you.
Mokiwalen can see as we are just 2 minutes away to the World Cup and the other news coming out of Nigeria. Moki Bubualen can see, as I always say, our sovereignty is now our problem. Nothing more than that. As we monitor what is going to happen between the game, Nigeria is still just 1 point, Australia 3 points, Canada 1 point. Republic of Ireland will be doing everything to see if they can win the game today. We are monitoring. There's a lot of protests going on in the southeast of Nigeria. Gunmen attack Abia Trade and Investment Commission convoy, kill 2 policemen. Nigeria is just too bloody on a daily basis. So bear with us. For those of you that have joined us, I say very, very good morning and welcome to the live transmission as we are ready to kickstart again. After the Star Radio UK, I will not be sitting behind. We'll be waiting for the next program, which is going to be 6 o'clock when we come back with Niger Voices. Is the NLC going to go ahead with the strike? Is going to be the question. Who is in control of Southeast would also be a conversation as, is it the government in exile that is being said is an illegitimate government, or is it the government that those on the ground? So all these will be the discussion later on. There's an order by Simon Ekpa that everyone should hold their ground in what is called the protest going on right now in Nigeria. I mean, in the southeast. So these are all the conversation coming later on during the Niger Voices. But for now, it is just the usual that we're going to kickstart with. And then when I come back at 6 o'clock, there will be a lot to discuss. Our time for Yoruba country, there's nothing they can do to that. It is our fundamental right, and nothing can stop that right. Is either the government work out what needs to be done so that Nigeria can be dissolved without a bloodshed, or there will be woto, the M1 saga, whether we like it or not. So there is still option on the table to avoid such. Then that means you are telling your citizen to do what? To get out. And your citizens that are asking for the exit, it will then become a lot of wahala. And since we don't want any wahala, everybody can go separately without a fight, which is the best way, which is the way that international community expect us to do, even if we say we don't want to be part of Nigeria. Please. In the middle of a program now. So, Davido ti jẹ gbèsè lọ́wọ́ àwọn northern báyìí. Abẹ́rẹ́ bá jẹ́ náà rúkọ. Davido ti jẹ gbèsè báyìí lọ́wọ́ àwọn northerners. Àwọn Haúsá wọ́n ní Davido ti ṣàwọn, ó ti ṣe àwọn ayé because of a video tí Davido ṣe. That is creating a lot of hulala as we speak right now. The northerners are saying Davido has offended them with a video that he produced. And that is the reason why they are saying Davido. They say Davido. So, I hope I've not opened too much stuff. Let's close some of this down quickly before we lose. Davido. So I'm going to come back on my seat. But before I come back, because I need to go and get myself ready together for the last lap. Nigeria is a crime scene.
But mama, láàrin èmi àti yín àtọlọ́hun. Ṣé ó dàbí ìlú ṣe rí? Ká pa tí pé omi ń wọlé yín tì. Ẹ̀yin náà wà nù wọn, ẹ̀ ń jẹ nǹkan tẹ̀ ń jẹ lọ́wọ́ wọn ló fà á. mọ́mì tẹ́ bá lẹ̀ ń ṣe nítorí ọmọ yín mo béèrè question lọ́wọ́ yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan mo ní ọmọ yín wo ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ local government. ok so ọmọ yín wo ni ló rán lọ university. So kí wàá la wá ń sọ. Àpò ara tí ilẹ̀ yín ń jà sí àpò ara tí ilẹ̀ yín ń jà sí mọ́mì àpò ara tí ilẹ̀ ẹ̀yin náà wò ń sìn omi lẹ̀ ń wọ́ wọlé.
omi ni o gbogbo ilé ló ti bàjẹ́ báyìí o wọ́n jọ ọba wa dá sí ọmọ Nàìjíríà.
Ẹ wo mama ẹ jẹ́ ká sọ tọrọ fúnra wa òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ ò lè ní ká má sọ òun ṣé Yorùbá tí mo sọ ẹ ti yé yín òótọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ kò lè ní ká má sọ òun. Ẹ̀yin náà yé gbà nǹkan lọ́wọ́ wọn mọ́ ẹ yé gbà nǹkan tẹ́ bá ń gbà nǹkan lọ́wọ́ wọn ẹ ń fún wọn lóró sí ni. Àwọn ọmọ kéèké ni ẹ ń sìn ẹ̀mí inú wọn tẹ́lẹ̀ nígbà kan tí wọ́n lówó dé yàmọ̀ pé wọ́n máa ń takò lọ́bẹ̀ rice wọ́n máa ń takò lọ́bẹ̀ ẹ̀bà sẹ̀mú all those kind of stuff. Nísìnyí báyìí kò lọ́bẹ̀ rice 50 naira kò tó ọmọdé jẹ mọ́ ọmọ mi kò lè jẹ orí 200 kó yó. Nígbà kan dẹ̀rẹ́ tí gbogbo ilé bára kò lọ́bẹ̀ 200 naira ẹ máa jẹ ó máa tún ṣẹ́kù. Màmá ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà yé gbà nǹkan lọ́wọ́ wọn mọ́ ẹ fún wọn lẹ̀.
Ìkìlọ̀ ni wọ́n ń kọ́ wa ni tí wọ́n bá kọ́ wa a ò lè kọ́.
Ẹlòmíì gba machine sáwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n ń gun machine sọmọ olóṣèlú ń gun machine wọ́n sọ gba àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wa di aláàbọ̀ ara ẹni wọ́n empower àwọn empowerment kí nìyẹn lọ́jọ́ orí iṣẹ́ lè dá ẹ̀rọ fà wọ́n gbé bùkátà sí nígbà ẹ̀tún appreciate wọn. Can you give me that bringing the work closer to your doorsteps? Hey, you know what? Been some days
now. Yo, what's up, people? This is the boy Raskin #1. Tune every day, every night at the STARR Radio UK with the big man, the Archie. When I say Archie, you say, oh yeah!
Welcome back to the program STARR Radio UK, your station, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, and we are bringing you the Wednesday edition of the morning show. And at this juncture, it's my singular honor of once again welcoming my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. OLAYOMI. Yes, on the show. Yomi, massive good morning to you, and how are you?
Well, I'm doing very well. A very good morning to you, Mr. Archie. Good morning, Frank. Good morning to all our listeners and viewers from around the globe and those that are joining us on the sister broadcast from the Twitter to the Instagram to the Facebook to the YouTube. Remember to also follow us on the social media, especially as the Twitter is the best engagement, as we always say. The STARR Radio UK on Twitter, but download the apps where you can also follow us. I'm doing very well. It's good to be back. Windy outside. But again, we are ready, as we always say, the 26/07/2023, 8 minutes past. I know we are probably pressed with time, but like I always say, it is the Wednesday Niger Voices, and there is always a lot to discuss. I'll be telling you what we're going to be discussing later, but let me come back again to you in the studio, and I might share a little bit of my outing yesterday. It's what I call a day out in the park, end up at Oxford Street, a street that doesn't get tired or busy, and I'll be telling you those that I met on holiday, and we'll do a comparison again this morning.
Well, listeners, that is for your ears only. So wherever you are, we want to say thank you very much. And those of you on all the other platforms as well, we want to salute each and every one of you. As we say here, you know that costs you an arm and a leg to actually listen or watch us. And you do it religiously, and we so much appreciate it. So thank you very, very much. But now let's move on straight to some of the stories that is making the rounds this morning. Let's pick it from the currency behind you. Now, Bishop Adesina has said that, well, the central bank is still going to go on with the date that was set by the then central bank chief, that is MFLA, that the 31st of December 2023 will be the time that they will now wipe out the old currency, and therefore now the mixture is going on. But apparently, what Bishop Adesina is saying here is that the new currency is nowhere to be found. Yummy, what exactly is going on? Is it Emefiele take it to his house?
Well, maybe Emefiele had it in his house, and that was why there was a bit of tuffle. And I'm not talking about, a joke here. There was a real tuffle. I will see if we can get that behind the scene later from the engineer that are working on that. When it comes to how Emefiele, should we say, was not handled properly, or should we say, like I heard you saying before I came on air, the DSS is now the government of their own? There was a real tussle at the court yesterday in Ikoyi when Emefiele, was meant to be returned back, to the custody, but it seems that the DSS, as we know them, are not respecting the institution. You did ask whether Emefiele took the money with him. Since the money has been out, I got to be honest with you, I've not seen any of the new currency, and that is a huge problem. So the question then is, how much of the new currency was actually, printed, and how much of it is still in circulation? But let's leave that aside because, we know that Emefiele was working on the order of the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, and that literally means that Emefiele had no intention to do what he wanted to do, but on the instruction of the government. Now, the Naira or the new Naira note is not just the issue on the table right now. We are also talking about the policies of the CBN, when it comes to when it actually comes to the dollar. Do we have enough dollar? Do we have enough of it to go in circulation? I am not sure whether we do. We're trying to see if we can get that image up, but it seems that there's a technical glitch. We see how far we can go. But let me come back to the real CBN conversation. The central bank is now on the acting, so we don't have the full person in charge. But Bola Tinubu removed Emefiele, not because Emefiele upset Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but because the DSS have been trying to get Emefiele in the first place. But the central bank is now promising to tackle the forex pressure, raises lending rate. What does that mean? The acting governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Folorunsho Shonobi, has said that the bank will address the demand pressure on the country's exchange rate as the Naira continues to slide against the dollar. We're talking about almost 850 Naira to the dollar in the black market, and the pounds is gone up to 1,120 as of this morning. While answering the journalists on a two-day monetary policy committee that ended in Abuja yesterday, within 1 week, the Naira actually fell to the dollar from 820. Did I say 850 earlier? It is now gone to 870 at the parallel market. And all this is because Nigeria do not have its own industry to facilitate the less pressure on the Naira itself. Let me come back again to you in the studio at 30 minutes past 11 because of the time constraint.
Well, listeners, it's quite an interesting development there, because the question is, what policy has the central bank got? Because like Yomi is saying, if we are importing everything, the crude oil, we take it out, and then we use the scarce resources to import finished fuel into the country, then, what are we expecting?
Well, we're not expecting much. What we can say is that it seems that, there is just something not right when it comes to, the Naira. For years we've been saying it, Nigeria has not been a producing country. We have been a consumer rather than a producing country. So that literally put pressure itself on the Naira. Also, since Nigeria refused to accept that, and these are part of the tussle that was going on. You could see that is the prison service has been torn to pieces by the DSS, not respecting the same uniform of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This is how Nigeria has been, and that is reason why the Naira itself is collapsing as quickly as possible.
Now let's come to Emefiele's situation once again. Now, he is denying the charges that he owns a gun. He said, I don't own a gun. Now, if the judge is saying that, okay, you have to reappear before the court again, why was the DSS stopping the prisons service from taking, what exactly was going on? Did the DSS want to now have him in their custody, or the prisons officers? What exactly went on, John?
Well, let me tell you, whoever has the big man has the money in the pocket. Because money would also flow through when we talk about somebody like Emefiele. Emefiele in the hands of the DSS means that the government must take care of him while he's there, and Emefiele would also have to take care of himself. So it seems that the tussle that was going on, as we saw yesterday at the court, not too sure again. Well, it seems that we are having technical glitch, but when we see, we can bring that up later on during the Niger Voices. Let me go back to what we know. This is coming from some of the legal team. Another brutal assault on the scared institution of the judiciary. Bear with us there. Can you still hear me back in the studio?
I hear you. We can see you. We can see.
Okay, all right. Because I lost my screen here. But let's see. Let me pick that back again. It seems that the case of Emefiele is just the same thing that we've talked about. Judiciary is not respected. And the event that unfolded during the Emefiele trial yesterday were not just disturbing. It just brought back the memories of a similar past occurrence. Remember that even when those that were kidnapped from Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho's residence, they were not brought into appearance by the DSS until there was pressure. And again, we saw the same thing with Omoyele Sowore. We saw the same thing with Oyendo Mazinamdi Kanu by the same lawless DSS. And some of the response underneath says, I'm just going back to someone that actually posted what Nnamdi Kanu said in 2021, June precisely. A democracy functions only when the three arms are functioning. For almost 2 months, the judicial has ceased to function. That means your constitution and your civil liberties are suspended. The NAS, which is the Nigerian Senate, barely function, and the Nigerian government has crumbled to a terror in the north. Is Nnamdi Kanu right? As of 2021, with this statement, you can tell from the outfit of these, the prison warden being almost stripped naked in the presence of the cameras. The DSS have become a monster of their own.
But the question is, what did the judge say?
Well, the judge actually granted a bail, which is why it needs to be returned back and facilitate that bail. Bail must be accepted since the judge has approved a 20 million bail. What then needs to be done is, if Emefiele has the money, he will put the money out, and then it will be given the restriction of his bail order that must be respected. We are not sure why then the DSS override what the judge have said. This is a banana country and this is a zoo, as some of us believe that if it's not a zoo, or even the zoo has its own order, what could have been why Bola Tinubu, the president, is looking away as the DSS Director General Bichi continue to disrespect that institution and also disrespect the prison warden. As you can see there, these images have gone around the world. And I was saying to those that still say that Nigeria is still going to war, would these have ever occurred in a UK present in Supreme Court or the lower court, even the court that takes you when it comes to your TV license? I am not sure that if you're allowed to go to the prison and facilitate your bail, then in the MI5 will come in and tear the warden like these and then disrespect the citizen. The citizen is not guilty until the court proves the guilt.
Yeah, I don't get. It's a serious shame and a dent on Nigeria's image, if there is any image that is left. I mean, that's what people be telling me. But I think it's about time that what Nnamdi Kanu said at the time, 2021, is exactly what is happening. And if care is not taken, Buhari himself, he might be one day also apprehended by these same DSS people, and we'll see what happens from there. Because it's like Nigeria is still in the military era. This is not democracy. If the three arms of governance is not functioning properly, I mean, Nigeria is finished. Let me put it that way.
Remember that we talked about it last week, that the case of Emefiele and Tinubu would be the test of the judiciary. Yeah. And what is playing out right now, I hope that the president will be doing something as quickly as possible, not to tarnish more of the image of those institutions, that the international community uses to gauge Nigeria. And when those are saying that Nigeria must remain the same, some Nigerians or some Yoruba rather say Republic of Ireland is playing Nigeria today. They are only 5 million with a GDP of $500 billion. Why should 250 ethnic groups become the phrase was agbaya. Agbaya means that the elder is like we want to go and play the 5 million people when 250 people have joined together, because the selection will be from all the ethnic groups, and that means 250 ethnic groups is playing one nation, and that is going to be happening. I don't know the scoreline yet, but what I can tell you is that Nigeria is still doing very well so far. They've got a point. Republic of Ireland have not got a point, so that means they'll be doing everything possibly best to win the game, as the game will be kicking off very, very soon. So Nigeria is the same table with Australia. Australia has got their 3 point. Canada and Nigeria played. It was a draw, even though Canada lost a penalty.
Well, listeners, it is STARR Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, 11:21 the time. Bishop Adesina says £1 sterling to 1,120 naira in 2 months at the Lapo. Well, that's what he's saying there.
And Aziz says DSS, Distribution Services System.
That is a good description for it. Now, interesting. But I hope that the president responds to this, because it's gone viral. Everywhere you go, every news network that I was looking at, I was reading from, have all got this in this case and what is going on.
Well, it is going to be a news. Remember that this is not a young or small position. We're talking about the same position like the Bank of England. Emefiele has met with different banks of England or banks of central banks around the world in Africa. So his case is not something that banking institution around the globe would not be interested. They would like to see, even if there's an allegation. And it remind me of Kemi Adeosun, the finance minister that was pushed out of the government of Buhari, maybe because she has not done the right thing when it comes to the NYSC certificate, but the same people that protected her for that NYSC uploaded that same thing back, and she has gone quietly out of the scene since 2015.
Mr. Madesina says, if the judges and judiciary in Nigeria knew what they are doing, the director of the DSS should be sued. For contempt, straight, because this is what the judge has said. Why should they act otherwise? But as we are saying, it looks like there's a fourth arm of governance, and that is DSS. Okay? Yes, DSS. That is the fourth arm of governance there. But listeners, it's STARR Radio. Okay, as Yomi said, lots going to be said or discussed this evening on the Niger Voices. But let's look at this story. Okay, my apologies. Let me quickly bring this one. That is appointment of the Nigeria Demands Reform as Tinubu submits ministerial list. Who are there, and what are the people saying, Young?
Well, by the time the list is finally, in the public domain, we would find out who is there. But Nigerians are demanding reform as Tinubu submit the ministerial list. I've not seen the list yet, but the Nigerians have demand economic growth, which is a big issue. The Naira is really in coma, and Tinubu must revive that as quickly as possible to stabilize the country. Tinubu is expected to submit the much-awaited ministerial list to the National Assembly, which is not out yet, in the next 24 hours. Remember that the 60 days lapses in the next 48 hours. So on the 29th of this month, that means that Tinubu will be 60 days. And what Buhari has done before he left is that you must, even though he didn't do that, we know that Buhari never gave us, the ministry, list, for more than 3 months. But he has now said that Tinubu must do not the same thing that he has done. What are we expecting? A presidential aide who demanded not to be told who he is, said yesterday that the president stretched the submission of the list, stretched the submission of the list to the last day to ensure that the list was very, very inclusive, which a lot of Nigerians will be expecting. A lot of Nigerians expect that the inclusiveness will keep Nigeria together, and the Senate will be expecting that list. The list will become public in the next 24 hours. And I can tell you, Nigeria will start scrutinizing every names on that list to see whether it is biased, whether it has stabilized in terms of the regions. Because remember that Tinubu changing of the security chiefs was a little bit more fairer than the former president Muhammadu Buhari, that thought that the Fulani owns the government by employing as many of his own ethnic people into the government, and he didn't move an inch. But Tinubu has become a little bit giving out. So, but the other question is, are we going to see somebody like Ganduje becoming the minister, even though he has a case on him? Are we going to see somebody like Wike, that was part of the 5G government that did not support Atiku and allow Tinubu to win in the River State? All these will be vetted. Are we going to see technocrats? We don't know yet, but be rest assured, on the Star Radio UK next week, Wednesday, if the list is out, then we will be discussing every details of that. But tonight, the focus will be on the NLC. Are they going to go ahead with the strike that we're being told will take place on the 3rd of August? Or are they going to be called back again into a roundtable discussion and resolve these internally so that Nigeria do not go paralyzed? Are we going to see that the resident doctors that have now begun indefinite strike amid already the Nigerian health crisis? So tonight is all about the NLC going on strike. Will they go according to what they have said, or will there be a solution? Why is the tension in the Southeast is also the discussion tonight. As I'm monitoring what is going on, there's protest against the government for trying to shut down the stores or the shops of those that refused to come out on their civil disobedience yesterday. And it seems that order has been given that they must be restricted from they must stand their feet, according to the government of exile of the Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Let me come back again to you in the studio at 27 minutes past. There is a lot going on in Nigeria, and it seems like they say Nigeria is really under pressure, like Raskimano told us some few years back.
Oh, yes, under pressure. Now, as he said, morning to you, Mr. Archie, Mr. Boyke, the rest of the Star Radio kitchen. And Peru, as Nigeria becomes a laughing stock in the world. What a shame. What a shame. I would say that the president should speak or crack the whip now, or else. Or else. He said when you have a dog and the dog pursues, a wild dog, pursues everybody, bites everybody, and they think, oh, my dog is okay. When everybody is finished, he now turns onto you and comes to bite you. Are we going to see that? Or will the president crack the whip?
Well, the president might have to crack the whip quickly because he's creating a lot of roadblock in Abuja right now. And the reason for that is the president is not living in the presidential house. He's still moving from the defense headquarters straight into Aso Rock every morning. And according to the news coming out now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is deliberately causing roadblock daily in Abuja, disturbing the resident and the local economy. He deserves to be dragged, kicking and screaming from the Aso Rock by the Abuja resident. That is what he meant by Emilokon, the megalomania.
Well, Emilokon is his king. It's not president. What do you expect? Well, somebody's asking the question. He said, looking at what the DSS is doing now, should the election tribunal come out with a verdict to say that there should be a rerun? Will they upheld that particular? Will the DSS and all the institutions uphold that particular ruling if the election petition tribunal bring that on? Yeah, what do you think?
I'm trying. I mean, early hours of this morning, I was saying that whatever is going to be the outcome, like Nigerians believe, gods will just have to accept the fate. Whether the government would accept that is the question. The judges will say that this is not going to be in the hands of the DSS anymore. I'm not sure whether they'll have to arrest the judges, and put them under house arrest. But if the judges do say that there should be a rerun, then the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu must do the needful. It will not be the only country around the world that is going for rerun. The last one we saw recently was Turkey. There was a close margin between Erdogan and his opposition, and there was a rerun, and Erdogan won. So Bola Tinubu should not be scared. If there's a rerun, let the rerun go through, and if he wins, he comes back and returns his certificate, and if he loses, he might stay in Nigeria, or he might just end up back in London and stay and watch the development of Nigeria.
Well, listening to Star Radio UK, it is 11:30. We go back to Yomi for the rest of the stories. As you know, Wednesdays, before position, we are pressed with time. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, let's hope that the kidnapping, the killings that is still going on in Nigeria will be tackled quickly by the new security chiefs, because that is what we were promised. But it seems that there's a lot going on. More killings is happening on a daily basis. In Ogun State, the southwest of Nigeria, gunmen have kidnapped the ex-FCE provost, wife and driver on Abeokuta Ibadan Road. This particular road is very popular, and it links, the outskirts of going out of Lagos State and then going further into other territories as well. According to what we know, Mr. Jai was adopted, not alone, but with his wife and driver, not too late. I mean, I was in central London, like I said yesterday, up till about 2100 hours, and I got back home. I wasn't worried, I wasn't scared that somebody would kidnap me. And I did say I was going to tell you who I met. I met these 4 young, beautiful Saudi Arabian, I'm not going to say they're women, they're still young girls. And I did ask them, where they're from. They told me they're from Saudi Arabia, very looking good. They're here for 1 month on holiday, and they say they're having the best of their, time here in London. And I got back home, I picked up the news as well that it seems that the Saudi government will probably allow their citizens to come here on holiday, because why? The Saudi government have invested in UK 1.5 trillion pounds sterling. So we hope that the new service chiefs will get the grip quickly and resolve some of these, because 7 p.m. is not that late for people to be kidnapped at Ikija village in the Olodo axis of Abeokuta Ibadan Road. The gunmen, as we know, have been operating not today, not tomorrow. The kidnappers have later released Mr. Jai's wife, while the ex-provost and his driver were held in hostage. So we hope that solution will be resolved there. Let's go to the FCC chairwoman 6-letter fraudulent. Dan Kaka evading probe, according to the red panel. There's everybody that always say, whenever they have to attend, what they call, investigation, is either they have to get something on their neck. Remember that we had one that came with a stretcher into the, and the reason for that, we got an image there. So what do we know so far about, this individual? Moses Anagwa, a federal commissioner at the Federal Character Commission, representing Delta, as counter is chairwoman Farida Dankaka, the picture right there, letter stating why she could not appear before the House of Representatives that probe panel on employment racketeering. Miss Dankaka, in a letter she wrote to the ARCHIE committee investigating the federal ministry, department, agency, tertiary institution on mismanagement of personnel recruitment in Abuja, claimed she was scheduled to see a doctor. The ARCHIE committee is also investigating employment racketeering and also gross mismanagement of the IPPIS. The commissioner representing Taraba read the letter stating that she had a medical appointment with a doctor, but in a swift reaction to the letter, Mr. Anagu said the chairwoman was in her office at the time of reading the letter of her purported ill health. Sometimes you are seeing people, but you don't know what they're going through medical-wise, as we do say, until proven guilty by the doctors to confirm that, yes, she's not just trying to evade, she's only trying to do justice to her health. Let's come back again to Emefiele. SSS tweeted profiling the Igbos, deleted after outrage. Following the outrage from the Nigerians, the State Security Service has pulled out a tweet profiling the Igbos, according to what we know. The SSS Primitive Tuesday was heavily censored for using his official Twitter page to taunt Maxwell Okpara, an Igbo lawyer, for defending suspended CBN Governor Emefiele, linking him to the proscribed. According to the news here, we know that they are proscribed because that is what the Nigerian government has put the IPOB, but outside the country, they are not proscribed. People of Biafra without evidence. That again is generating, and I've seen some of the tweets where people are responding to say, could it be that because Emefiele is from the southeast, that is why his management is appearing to be. But also, I picked up a tweet also as Davido, a very, very sad news. The situation is getting out of control. I could see a dead body in the southeast in Enugu State. Damages, the headline here says 3 minutes ago, the Islamic terrorist in uniform of Umba brought to Enugu was shot dead two Biafrans. What this means is that every uniform in Enugu will be engaged anywhere you see them until we restore peace by eradicating them from the street. We hope the situation will be put under control. It seems now that there is a huge confrontation, and I can see damages are happening and dead body. One so far, according to the image that we can show due to the social media policy. So Enugu is really under real tension. We hope the government will intervene quickly and restore peace in that region, as we say. Let me come back straight to the social media as we look into what is trending this morning. Again, there is another report how my mistress in Imo State brutalized me with hot water and housemaid have cried out. Hot water was literally poured on her chest. It seems again too much injustice going on in Nigeria, especially those that are keeping, the housemaid. It seems that Spain have actually finished Zambia with 5-0. Wow, what a very bad result there for the Zambians. Naira is really trending. Buhari is still trending. And like I said, there is a lot of trend going on in Enugu, Southeast. Both two are trending simultaneously, and it's due to the fact that there is an ongoing protest for those shop owners that their stores were locked because they were sitting at home yesterday in the order of the governor of Enugu State. And the Biafra government in exile have said they must go back and open the store. And the question is, who is in charge and who should the people on the ground listen to? The governor or the government in exile? This is now creating the huge protests that have led to the death of an individual in Enugu State. We pray for peace to reign in that region. Let me come back again to you in the studio, but later on at Niger Voices, we would have so much to discuss when we review the NLC and we talked about the Southeast.
The NLC could happen or not. Okay, as well, so in that, what is going to happen there? Is it going to bring Nigeria to 8 meetings? And would that cause the president to sit up and see what to do best or next? Let us all join Yomi exactly at 18 hours. That is 6 p.m. here in Nigeria, 6 p.m. Yeah. And then let us enjoy that show with your live with us. Yomi, let me say thank you before you go.
Well, it is the PMQ. We still have our own to deal with here as well. Let's see how that is going to be tackled without a blow in the parliament. And we'll be monitoring that on the Star Radio UK network. Bye for now.
Well, listeners, that has been Mr. Lively for you on the update from Nigeria. But this evening, as I did announce, is bringing you Nigeria to make a date with him. We are pressed with.
I can't go further. There's still evening broadcast, so let's take a short break. Thank you so much, everyone that have joined. We pray that there's going to be peace in the Southeast while things are still being dialogued. Like I said, we hope that there will not be the 1967 coming back again in Nigeria. Nobody prays for war, but there's always room for peace. But if peace doesn't happen, then expect the other way around. A very good evening, good afternoon, and bye from this end. Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Have a very good afternoon. Bye for now.